Ira, this was your request that I review Spawn from 1997. Well, I don't know what to say. It's so in in the comment you described it as so bad it's good. Imagine a creature on the verge of destruction. From comic book legend Todd McFarlane comes the live-action special effects movie of the year, Spawn. Michael J. White, John Leguizamo, and Martin Sheen star in a battle beyond good, beyond evil, and beyond imagination. Running time approximately 94 minutes. CGI everywhere. I mean, in the featurettes, just alone. Interview with Todd McFarlane. The behind-the-scenes making of Spawn featurette. Super sketch gallery with over 200 original concept illustrations. Every report scene, blah, blah, blah. Filter and the Crystal Method music video. Interesting. I know nothing about Spawn, alright? Al Simmons is trying to stop a virus or something in North Korea, but he gets double-crossed by his boss, who then links a device to his heart that if his heart if the systolic and diastolic pressure stop functioning, 16 million people, 16 or 60 million people worldwide will be infected by a virus called the Heat 16 and die. And Al Simmons dies, goes down into, I don't know, some underworld or something like that, and just, ultimately, he becomes Spawn, and just CGI everywhere. This is the, I guess you could call it the new metal phase of superhero movies, because you had the Captain America in 1993. Then you have your Blade. You have your Trinity here. You got Spawn, and then eventually you have X-Men, and then the MCU, and then the DCCU. This is on the verge of like where comic book movies were trying to find their footing. It was like either be extreme and serious or funny, but not be like just one complacent thing. This was like 1990s Attitude Era, man. Like, you know, the WWE put the Attitude Era, you know, Stone Cold, The Rock, all that stuff. This is pretty much what it is. It's the encapsulation of the 1990s with Marilyn Manson, with filter, with the CGI, the one-liners. That's pretty much what this is. If there was ever a definition, a movie to show someone what the 1990s was like, this would be it. That's exactly how I'm going to find it. Style over substance in a good way. A so bad it's good movie, but the fact that Todd McFarlane was involved in the production does add credence to the authenticity of it being a comic book movie. I have to give it credit for that. When he's like the executive producer, executive consultant, I don't know exactly what his role is, but you know what? As long as he got people into the comics and started getting with the attitude of the 90s was aesthetic, I guess that's fine, because also the animated series came out. What was that? A little bit later in the year or next year, so this is kind of a good tie-in for it, so... This movie is, there's barely any story. This is more of an introduction to the comic book series. Like I said earlier, that's exactly what this is. What with the virus, the Martin Sheen playing a bad guy who actually almost wins instead of winning. So I have to give him credit, because right there on the IMDb he said he always wanted to play in a comic book movie. He did this, and then Uncle Ben in the 2012 Spider-Man movie. So, there is that. And also, John Leguizamo steals the show as the clown, the Violator. And, yeah, I mean, this guy is just a bastard. But you love him because he's so over the top. But especially with his scene of where he's like a cheerleader. He's like SPAWN. He did a whole bunch of cheering, dressing like a cheerleader, and I'm just like, this is just definitely style over substance, but it's a good style over substance. This is a good fun time movie. Like I said, the plot is so paper thin. You don't watch it for that, all right? You watch this so you can see yet another clown in that I didn't even expect to enter pop culture. That's a little bit, well, let's just say lesser well known than Pennywise, for example, or Art from the Terrifier franchise. So, say what you will about that. This Frank Welker, who does the voice of Malabulge, the devil, is like the devil himself does not speak, but instead he's like hell itself speaking with like speakers all around and everything. So that'd be kind of funny to see. Frank Welker, forgot who he is. Anyway, Malabulgia is in either Circle 7 or 8 of Dante's Inferno, because 7 is where the Suicide Forest is at. 8 is like 9 different, it was either 8 or 9 different little mini parts where people will have like very similar crimes that they committed. But ultimately, I think it was just a way for Dante to kind of get to the good part where hell's frozen over in Lake Cocytus. So that was interesting to see. I mean, this is a lot of stuff packed into 94 minutes. The I guess the slums, you could call it, the hellscape itself, which is just all CGI. I mean, this is almost like a darn video game, you know. It's just, you look at it and it's like, interesting. It's nice to see the character. Michael Dye White says, I never gave any interviews. There's no footage of me saying that I enjoyed this movie, but at the same time, it was historical in a way, because it was one of the first times an African American played a significant hero. That's not exactly good, but it still has some redeeming qualities about it. I think the first one was Meteor Man, but anyway, very important step in African American actors and heroes. So you got to give it points for that. So overall, this movie, it was breakneck pace, CGI all over the place, new metal songs, and just style over substance. But Martin Sheen and John Leguizamo steal the show. So if you want like the late 1990s was with attitude, then I recommend that you watch Spawn.